Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence. In this video I totally forgot to show you what I was using, but they're mostly things that I've mixed myself. I mix my own acrylic colours, so I will link a video in the cards for you that I did showing you how I mixed some of my acrylic colours myself. And I'm just showing you this little doohickey which I use for like metal alloys and for big glitter sequins like this. It puts a curve in them so that the alloys and the sequins sit really nicely on the nail, perfectly, so that they're not sticking up. And it's like £2 or something. It's cheap as chips and it is worth it, so that you're not having to try and bend these things with your fingers or file them off because they're sticking out. So I do recommend getting one of those. I think it's called an alloy curve tool, if I remember rightly. Alloy curve tool, yeah, I think that's what it was called. But yeah, grab one of them because they are awesome, especially for like the you know, the little cog pieces, sort of steampunk cog pieces, metal ones. Really good for those. Definitely excellent for those. But anyway, I'm waffling on. On to the nails. So I'm applying, if I remember rightly, this colour is an Cover Pink and it's Natural Beige Shimmer, if I remember rightly, from Nao. So I'm applying a thin layer of that just for coverage, not for strength at this point. I'm just giving it a background colour, as it were, for my sequins to go on top of. So applying that, so I did the middle bead first, then I did the free edge bead, and now I'm doing the cuticle area. Get that nice and neat, tap that into place, bring the rest of the bead down the nail, and it was still a little bit sheer, so I added a second bead to that cuticle area. Again, patting it tight, close to the cuticle but not on the cuticle, making sure it's a nice neat area. We want a nice neat cuticle area. Yes, you can correct a messy cuticle with your file, but you don't want to have to do that, so pay attention and do it nicely. That way you don't have to correct it in filing. And now I'm adding a couple of those really large flower sequin glitter things that I showed you me putting a curve into. I could have curved that one on the free edge a little bit more, to be honest, but yeah, it is what it is. So it's sticking up a little bit on the sides. I really should have curved it a bit more. The tool has like a wider area and a thinner area depending on how much curve you want to give to the item you're curving. So yeah, I should have put it up the thinner area and given it a bit of a more curve to fit on the free edge, but never mind. Anywho, so I also added a little Fimo butterfly. It was so cute, it's so tiny. So yeah, Fimo butterfly, and then I'm adding some gold leaf, but it's a multicoloured gold leaf, so it's got silver bits and peachy bits and gold bits, and yeah, it's a really pretty gold leaf. If I find a picture of it, I'll put it up, and you'll see what I mean. It's a multicoloured, yeah, gold leaf. It's really nice. I like him. Don't know if you like him, but I do. Anyway, so I'll leave that to set, and then I will move on to the middle finger, and on this finger I'm going to apply a marble. So I've switched brushes. I've gone and gotten hold of a number 6 brush, and I use that for my marble sometimes when I remember to, because it picks up less monomer, so that you can pick up smaller beads, you know. That way you're not putting huge amounts of acrylic on the nail at a time. And marbles are messy, they will be lumpy bumpy, but don't worry, trust the process and it will be fine. Don't stress out about how lumpy and bumpy and out of shape it is. It will all be fine in the end. Trust the process. So yeah, I'm just adding different coloured beads of the pastel colours that I'm using, and yeah, giving them a little swirl as I add them on. Also trying to make sure that cuticle area is neat as too, because again we want to keep it neat, we don't want to have to correct it with filing, so get that nice and neat. And now I'm adding some of these shards. Now I have no idea what these are called. It's, if you can just see in the background there, it's a pack with 12 sections, and they're all different colour mixes. I'm not sure if it's like a shell or no, it feels more like a plastic, I don't know, it's some type of glitter plastic stuff, but it's really cute. It's like confetti type stuff. Anyway, I'm using some of that on the marble, just going with the flow with the marble. And then on the little finger I'm doing an ombre, so I'm applying the pastel green at the very tip of the nail, and then I'm brushing that and fading it up towards the cuticle area, but sort of 3/4 of the way down. And then by the cuticle area I'm adding the yellow. Again, when I place that bead, I'm getting that bead nice and neat around that cuticle area, and then I'm bringing the rest of it down. I have applied the beads a little bit wetter than usual so that they ombre nicely. If if the bead is too dry, it's harder to get a nice ombre. So if you ombre with slightly wetter beads, your ombre will be much easier to achieve. And as you saw, 2 beads and I was done with the ombre. It takes longer for me to put these flaming glitter dots on than it did to do the ombre, because I'm a faffer. But yeah, so I'm applying some of these glitter dots. These glitter dots I bought in a pack of 6, so it was 6 sections in plastic, and there were all different glitter dot mixes in it, really cute. So yeah, adding that along vertically from one corner to the opposite corner on that little finger and onto the index finger. Another ombre, this time with the pastel pink at the free edge, and again fading that back 3/4 of the way up, ready to ombre the second colour over the top of it. And I'm just making sure I have enough acrylic to make an opaque nail, but not adding any bulk. No bulk, we're not adding any bulk. We will cap everything in clear, and that's when we will think of the shape and structure of the nail, and also encapsulate the glitters and protect them. But yeah, keep your layers, at this point you want your layers as thin as you can get them, so that you've got room to cap without filing into. The last thing you want to do is do a really nice ombre, file into it and ruin it, because that just defeats the whole purpose. So you do need to make sure you've got enough clear there to file into, that you don't mess up your ombre. And again, I'm adding some of those glitter dots from one corner vertically down to the opposite corner of the nail. And kind of looking at it now, I'm wishing I didn't put these glitter dots on, because those ombres are really nice and the glitter dots really cover it up. So excuse my hair there, I'm kind of regretting putting the glitter dots on, but what's done is done. But yeah, I'm kind of wishing I didn't put the glitter dots on and just left them as plain ombres, because this is a really busy set. You guys know me, I do busy sets all the time, you should be used to it. But yeah, sometimes I get carried away with the glitter in bits and bobs. It's just me. I'm extra and OTT. Anywho, so those bits, I also applied some of the gold foil to that middle finger as well. And now that I've allowed those bits to set up a little bit and hold the glitter in place with the clear acrylic that I used to apply them, I will now cap those nails to protect them, like I said, and also add my shape and structure. So we want to make sure we've got a nice apex, that the nail is the correct thickness, that it allows for you to file but still have the right thickness afterwards. So you want a little bit more so you can file into it, but not too much so that you're filing forever, if you know what I mean. I've not left the filing in this video because you have seen many other videos with filing in it, so I didn't leave it in this one, just to make a shorter video for you. And as you saw, I applied just some monomer over those glitter pieces on the nail first with a really thin wash of clear acrylic as well, and then I went in with my bigger bead to encapsulate properly. it's when you've got big pieces like that, you really need the acrylic to seep in all the little crevices, otherwise you'll get gaps and air pockets, and they're just not nice looking, and it can also create a weak spot in the nail, which you also don't want. So doing it that way definitely allows for no air pockets to be there excuse me, which obviously is the goal. So once I have applied enough acrylic to encapsulate those sequins, because they are rather massive, and I made sure my apex is there, I'll move on to the next nail. As you can see, same again, encapsulate that one. This bead wasn't quite as big as I needed it, so I will need to add more acrylic. So again, by that cuticle area, I'm tapping it in behind the colour so that I don't file the colour away. When you apply the colour, you need to leave just a tiny little gap for you to tuck your clear acrylic right at the back behind it. That way you won't file it away when you're doing your cuticle filing and blending. And I'm looking at the shape of the nail from all angles, of course, and making sure there's enough acrylic, but I'm also looking at the nail that I had done previously to make sure that the nail I'm on currently is a similar thickness and shape. You do need to pay attention. The nails should all be very, very similar and uniform and consistent in their shape and their depth and their height kind of thing, you know, width, everything. They all have to look very similar, otherwise you won't have a consistent set and all the nails will look different. So pay attention to that and your nails will get better in shape. A lot of newbies, I find, have an awful lot of trouble with their shapes, and it's because they're looking at nails as individuals rather than a group. If you pay attention to the nails as a group, I promise you it will change your nail game. And it's the same when you're filing. So it's not just when you're applying the acrylic for you to make sure all the nails look this very similar. You see how I hold all the nails together and look at them, and I noticed this one just needed a bit more acrylic, so I add some more. And again, I will stop and look at all the nails and make sure that they all are a similar shape and thickness, and if not, I will add a little bit more acrylic. This is how you up your nail game. And I'm turning it to the side to show you that this little finger was lower apex wise than the other ones, so I'm adding a bit of acrylic to there. And if you get yourself a good filing routine and pay attention to the nails individually as well as a group when you're filing, it will also make a huge difference in your shaping. I promise you, give it a try, it will work. But anyway, I've not included the filing in this one. You'll see in the other videos, and many other videos that I've done, I've included filing and how to get consistent shaping done. So yeah, filed off camera, removed all of the dust with a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, and now I am applying just some basic gel polish to the free edge area. I'm just doing an outline. This gel polish is not a gel paint, so it's not as opaque as a gel paint, so I'm gonna have to put 2 layers on, but I'm just using a very basic cheap striping brush and just a very simple outline. Didn't really need it on these nails, to be honest, but you know me, extra AF, so yeah, why not add a little bit more. Really unnecessary, but I can't help myself. Once I get going, I just want to do more and more and more and more. I cram as much as I can into each set. Oh dear. So yeah, and you know my shaky hands. I was actually having a good day this day. My hands weren't shaking as much as they usually do, so I didn't have to redo these lines, which was like a shock. Normally I have to redo lines, my hands shake so badly, but I was having a good day that day, so it didn't shake as much and I could get the lines done one and done. And look, I didn't even flash cure in between. I was feeling really good that I didn't have to flash cure, because normally I'm so klutzy I'd be scared to smudge them, But this day I was feeling really confident and good about my skills, and I wasn't shaking as much. I thought, no, I'm gonna paint them all and then I will cure it. I was on my game. It's not often I get a day like that, but yeah, the day I did these nails I was on my game for sure. So once I've finished outlining that nail, I will cure it. There we go. A 30-second cure will do to hold it in place, and then I will do the second layer because, like I said, it's not a gel paint. Gel paints are specifically more opaque than gel polishes, so you only have to do one coat with those. But yeah, I don't really have gel paints as many anyway, but for this orange colour, I had a gel polish that would work with the right kind of orange tone in it that I was going for, because I didn't want it to exactly be the same as the orange that I'd used in the set. I wanted it to stand out a little bit, but not too much, and this shade was just the right shade that I wanted, really. So yeah, that's why I used it. I get that this long striping brush is good for this kind of stripe. Well, that's why it's a striping brush. Karen, you say the dumbest things. Wow. Yeah, but if you're doing something like this, if you're using a brush half the length, it will actually be harder to get a nice line. So do get yourself a long brush for these things. And that, like I said, that brush was dirt cheap. Came in a set of 3. I'm adding just a touch of the Tony Lee Jewelry Gel, because now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. The Jewelry Gel is not tack free, so I'm going to top coat the nails and bring them to life, because top coat is life. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Those sequins are gorgeous. Love those flower sequins. They're massive, but they're so pretty. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Tony Lee Jewelry Gel is not tack free, so I just put a little blob on the nail, and then I'll top coat the nail, and then I will go over the jewelry gel very, very gently so I don't move the blob out of the way, which will make it tack free. And then I can place my crystal cluster on top of that, cure it in place for 60 seconds, all the nails will cure, and then we are done. So as we are at the end of the video, as always, thank you ever so much for coming to my channel and joining me, spending your precious time on watching my video with me. If you are not subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button, and if you have enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please click that like button so that I know you've enjoyed the video. And if you fancy it, you are welcome to leave me a comment. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
I'm gonna make